With the Citi Double Cash Card, you get 1% cash back when you buy and 1% as you pay. That's like the joy of discovering the last donut.
Ooh.
And it has your name on it, literally, in chocolate sprinkly things.
No way.
Double the love with the Citi Double Cash Card. Apply now at Citi.com/doublecash.
Don Le Batard.
You're just allowed to give me one word on what you think. I tell you, American flag, you give me one word on what you think. Go ahead, Chris. You're only allowed one word.
Freedom.
That's what I was going to go with.
Stugats.
Guillermo.
Bald eagles.
What?
2 words.
Well,
I mean, God, $2.
That's a fine.
$2. I mean,
That's a fine.
Do you realize how hard it is to be that bad with 2 words, man?
apple pie.
I got 2 words for you.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
Well, the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. Thank you. I can hear the walking ovation.
How should I introduce you, Alan? Is that okay, Father from Growing Pains? Is that all right? Or, how should I be introducing you?
Fine, I think things like iconic, legendary, and maybe Your Highness, all kind of, I'm fine with any of that.
How much money do you actually make just from the fact that you wrote 2 of the most famous television songs ever written?
I made enough to have 3 prenups.
I want to talk Tomas Hertl with him.
Yeah.
Is he the best player in hockey? Hockey correspondent.
Who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Hello, Mike. I have just risen from my slumber. I'm drinking a mint julep. I'm looking at beluga whales here in the Pacific Northwest, which is very relaxing because, as you know, it is tax time and the IRS is coming for an audit.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, or whenever.
Has Alan Thicke ever, while making love, played one of his son's songs?
I count on it. Are you kidding? It's the most perverse thing that I do.
Give me a list of what those things are that Shatner has turned down that Thicke has swooped in to do.
So, I did host a bunch of pageants. I hosted Miss Universe and Miss World and Misconception, you name it, and I probably hosted it.
I want a dollar amount. How much money have you made by Shatner simply saying no?
$473.
Okay, excellent work by you. That was as the host of Misconception.
The only 3 words that Igor knew in English were vodka, dance, and girls. And I took it upon myself to make sure that all of that came true. And that was the last we saw him on the ice against Canadian teams for some time.
Really? Only the only 3 words that you need to know, right?
I think, you might not even need to know dance. It could have been remarkably thick or painfully thick or thankfully thick.
You seem to be very happy with your marriage.
I am. I've been happy with all of them.
We have our celebrity prognosticator. I've been told all show that it's a surprise. This suggests to me that we haven't been broadcasting this, that this is not a guest. They couldn't get a real celebrity. I don't even know. I have
no idea.
I don't know who this is or what this is, but if it was somebody super famous, we would have told you they were coming on, I think.
Hello. I'm going to try to overlook the not very famous introduction.
When Snoop Dogg on radio one day was asked who the weirdest, most unusual guy he ever smoked weed with was, and when he responded, Alan Thicke, my son's lines lit up like, was he mistaken? Was he talking about you? Could that have been your dad? To which my response, of course, was, well, I was at the same party, maybe in another part of the room. I want to be there tonight when lightning strikes, fire on ice, something like that.
Is Turtle Wax still doing well? Is the business of Turtle Wax?
I don't know.
I wasn't asking you. I was asking.
I've never waxed my turtle.
Okay.
I got my hands full with beavers.
We very much appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get you around here more often. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, Dan. My pleasure. We'll talk again sometime.
I hope so. Alan Thicke, be careful. He'll steal your women. Wow, what an interesting combination of funny and heartbreaking. Like that hurt.
Yeah, it hurts.
That one hurt. It
Missed that, man.
It hurt to listen to that. Yeah, because we had a lot of fun with him for a long time. Who would be the most popular guests in the history of the show? If you were to go the history of the 15 years we've been doing this.
I mean, Alan's certainly right up there. Ron McGill is certainly right up there.
If we were to go ahead and put this on a poll, let's come together with a list here at Lebitard Show. Who has been your favorite person in the history of this show? And the choices have to be from among Ron McGill, Greg Cody, Alan Thicke, Super Dave Osborne, the recurring guests.
Yeah, I was going to say Bob Einstein was working his way on that list before he self-imposed a ban after
the death of Alan Thicke, or was it Paxson? Like somebody was on the show with us and then died, and Bob Einstein believes that our show is cursed and has now refused to come on. And in fact, Allison, can I get an update on this?
Still talks to Allison.
No, like every week, every day.
Yeah, it's
every
closer
day.
to every day than every week.
Every day?
Funkhauser from Curb Your Enthusiasm has been a friend of the show for a long time.
Allison, what is happening? Are you take your headphones off?
What is? Now there's a phone. I hear a phone. Like, what is going on? A lot of people are saying Kenny G, by the way.
Oh, I heard that Kenny G was good on Drop the Mic. I heard he was dirty on Drop the Mic. Mike, did you get that sound cleared?
Still working on that.
So Kenny G, apparently, did he freestyle rapped against, who was it that he...
Richard Marx.
Richard Marx.
Those two are boys.
Yeah, they are boys. If you don't know anything about our show, we have a relationship with Kenny G that is funny. None of us have ever met Kenny G.
Nope.
We thought the same things about Kenny G that you probably thought if you didn't know Kenny G, which is that he's kind of cheesy, but he's actually fun and funny, and we were delighted to have him around.
Kenny G sort of occupies the Lebitard sweet space that Alan Thicke occupied, which is, oh, this is a surprise. You're like that in real life?
Right. Well, that's why I want Kenny G on the list, or Carrot Top, for that matter, although he was terrible last week.
He was awful.
What the hell happened to Carrot Top?
A lot of people, like recent people, getting some nominations here. We're getting the Pat Sajaks. Those are coming in.
Oh, yeah, Pat Sajak is a good one, too.
We're getting a lot of Chris Sims, and we're getting a lot of Greg Normans. We're getting a lot of those on the text machine here.
Okay, those two people need to get out of here. You guys have recency bias. You guys have no perspective. You guys don't appreciate this nostalgia and legacy for what it is.
I might be with you on Chris Sims, but Greg Norman lit this radio show up for about a week.
No, he did.
Great.
He did, and we loved him.
Yes, and also, Chris Sims is about to set a record for most appearances on the Dan Lebitard show. He has 61 more of these.
Look, man, Greg Norman and Chris Sims have some work to do before they're allowed the great tribute of being on this poll that is like the hundreds of others that we do every day mocking sports radio.
But you're allowing Pat Sajak, right? Of course.
Yes.
Stan Van Gundy?
Stan, yes,
Okay,
you got to put Stan on
How
there.
about Marty Smith?
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Too new.
Wow.
Man, it's been a year now with these
Marty
minorities.
Smith, John Amici.
Paddleboard guy. Did you write him that letter or not?
I mean, Allison, I've agreed to write that letter.
Send me the info. My job is done.
Send me the info. Okay. All right. So that was waiting on me. All right. I know. So no is the answer to your question. I've not written that letter for that paddleboarder. But Allison, what's going on with you and Bob Einstein? What is the latest? Funkhauser from Curb Your Enthusiasm. How often do you two talk?
Well, right now we're in a little downturn. I haven't spoken to him in a few days.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
So,
Is he okay?
but it's usually every other day.
Are you okay?
I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
And so how would you explain to the audience the nature of your relationship and everything that's happening?
We're friends. We're friends.
No, but I'm saying like the weirdness of it. Like we've played a couple of the messages where he'll just leave you messages on why he's not coming on the show, and he just likes to leave you messages.
He does. He likes to talk about the news. We talk about the news, what's going on. He likes to talk about you, but he doesn't want to come on the show. He doesn't like the show.
I think he's mad at her because the last time he called her, she handed me the phone. It was here, and I picked up, and he immediately hung up. And I don't think she's heard from him since. So I think he thinks that we put him on the air.
Uh-oh.
He's creating controversy. He loves, this is Billy, the instigator, stirring the pot. He loves to create controversy everywhere he goes.
Let's listen to some of the messages that Funkhauser, Super Dave, Bob Einstein leave. Bob Einstein, who's his brother? His brother is
Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought it was Albert Einstein.
It is.
Yeah.
He decided to not go with that publicly as a stage name.
Yes, his
For
brother.
reasons you probably do not know, Stu Gatz.
But let's go ahead and play one of the messages that Bob Einstein leaves for Allison.
Say I called you back. I tried 3 times calling me with those stupid questions, but here's the thing. I would love to answer those questions because I would have a lot of fun, but I like living. It's one of my favorite things to do. Get up, breathe the air, have some breakfast. If I'm working, I work. If I'm not, I'm not. That's all. It's very simple. It's black and white. I don't like to bring color into this, but it's simple. And too many people have died.
So he thinks the show is cursed and just refuses to come on it.
Do you have any concept what a lunatic world you're living in? Thank you.
How many more do you have? I can't listen to them enough. I know the number that you have. I mean, Allison comes in and plays them for me sometimes. Some of them are so raunchy. So, I mean, he is dirty. He's dirty. Allison.
She's speaking to him right now.
Yeah, she's on the phone.
She's talking to him right now. Let's put him on the air.
Let's do that thing where we just hear Allison's part of the conversation.
Okay, let's do that.
Allison, come to the microphone.
Wait, he's on hold.
Is he on hold? Are we going to talk to him?
I don't know.
What, Allison? Talk to him on the air, but don't actually like.
Yeah, talk to him on the air and try to convince him to come on the show.
Just
right
speak
now.
into the microphone.
Yeah, let's just hear your part of this.
Phone over here.
How dare I? What do you mean? I won't put you on the air, I promise. I won't put you on the air. I won't do that. I won't do that, I promise. We just... What? You're right, because he wants to talk to you. He misses you. We all miss you. We need Bob in our lives.
Yes, we do. Need
You miss him too. Why do you have to get off? No, he wants to talk to you.
Please.
I want to live through the holidays.
Time to justify our unreasonable salaries.
I love that guy.
I do too. Lisa, it's too bad we're going to kill him one day. I love you so much, Bob. I'm sorry that one day we will murder you and never be charged. Because how can you prove a curse in a court of law? You'll never get us. We are leaving no paper trail.
Right, we have countless examples of guests
people
who have
who
come
haven't
on
died.
who are still alive.
So many people who have come on our show and haven't died. Is Billy talking to him now? Oh, let's hear this. Hold on a second.
Huh?
Say something.
Just cut him off, Bill, and say something.
Say a word! He's telling me a joke.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. We'll come back with whatever that joke was.
Don Lebatard.
I was listening today. I was on my listening game today. I remember it like it was yesterday. Well, it wasn't yesterday. It was an hour ago, but I remember it clearly, and that's what I said.
Wait a minute. So you're saying you had to throw a cliche in there if I remember it like it was yesterday, even though it was an hour ago?
It was today.
Stugats.
What you're saying is I remember it like it was yesterday, so you're really arguing against how well you remember it, because it was an hour ago. If you remember it like if it was yesterday, that means you don't remember it well.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
Guillermo, $2. That segment could have ended so great with just Allison saying he wants to live through the holidays. And then we went to you and your call.
I didn't turn the microphone on. I didn't even know you guys were talking to me.
I was like, I put it on.
So that $2, the microphone was on, and
saying,
you didn't offer a contribution that was worth anything.
Right, but what he's saying is he was just having a private conversation with Bob. Bob was telling him a joke. He had no idea it was going to be mic'd up, and you can't cut a guy off in the middle of a joke, especially a comedian.
$1.
Read the room.
Tried to help you out, man.
So, do you feel shame at Levitard Show? Do you feel shame when you land in the minority on one of our polls? Do you feel shame that you're being told by the rest of the listening community here that your opinion is the wrong opinion? I'm just curious. All of ESPN today is at a talent meeting. They excluded us because we are not talented.
Yep.
And Russillo's not doing his show today from 1 to 3 because everybody's in a meeting. So Stugatz and Mike Ryan will be taking the reins with the shipping container and soaring into the sky from 1 to 3.
A radio marathon. I think it's 1 to 4.
Oh, all right.
I prefer it to be 1 to 3. In fact, I requested 1 to 3, but I think it's 1 to 4. That is a 7-hour marathon we're doing today, but it's my dream.
Well, right. Well, we will see. You will now see. It'll be the same show from 1 to 4 without me.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be all the same people. It'll just not have me in it. And so it'll be better and certainly more palatable to Russillo's audience than what I would do, which is nonsense. It'll be a sportsier show, no? Or?
I mean, we have McShay for a half hour in the first hour.
So, yes.
Yeah.
So, yes.
But you know, like...
So yes.
We don't want to come in and trash the place.
Correct.
We're the invited guest, and there's important things to get to, like overrated, underrated, or properly rated.
Right, we're going to do that as well, plus life advice. So, like, we got a big show coming up, and we got McShay for a half hour. His mock is out, his first mock of the year.
I like the idea, though, of just generally our show metastasizing, like where I like the idea of maybe you sneaking into, as you have been, Wingo and Golick, like,
yep.
And so we've been 10-1 here nationally for a little while, but I like it metastasizing and some of it leaking into with radio activity. You want an asbestos suit into the Russillo show, and some of it leaking into Mike and Mike. And just eventually there being spillage all over the place, and next thing you know, everything's corroded. That's what we're trying to get to here.
Right. I mean, Mike, I'm just warning you now, by like 2:30, I'm going to be gassed, and you just got to carry it from there. All right? In fact, if I can go home at 3, that'd be great.
It's going to be a real – look at him already trying to
I'm already tired.
Work less on his dream, because his dream is me out of the way, right? Like
his dream used to be the dream, not as much. I don't dream. I don't have that dream nearly as often as I used to. I can be honest.
No, but the dream is. This is accurate. What I'm about to say is accurate. I think is accurate. The dream is you are me, and you then get to do whatever you want from the position of me. But that can't be with me here. So if I were to just remove me from the equation and then give you everything that comes with being me, you want the good things without any of the responsibilities, because you'd get us fired in 3 days.
Well, my real dream is your check.
Don Le Batard.
It is funny to hear Stugatz and how generally resistant he is to knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the key to the show. Yep.
Stugatz.
You just figured out the secret sauce, Dexter.
Knowledge is my kryptonite.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio.
Does anyone like the golf narc? Does anyone like the guy who calls in from the television show or watching golf on television and tattles on a rule breaker?
I hate it. I mean, I love golf. You know that, and I hate that rule is...
Well, they're getting rid of that. The reason I bring it up is because I'm paying a fine now because so many of you last segment noticed something that no one else did, which is I called the show Mike and Mike instead of Golick and Mike.
Right.
We noticed. We try to give you a break.
Wingo and Golick?
Yeah, we're giving you a break. I mean, you're going to run out of money.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah.
That's an understandable one.
Yeah, take the money back. It's fine.
It's good. We let you...
But my point is you guys seem to enjoy being the golf narc, is my point. All of you who don't like the golf narc seem to enjoy being the golf narc.
It got me thinking maybe we could set up a line here where listeners can call in when we make a mistake and no one realizes it, and they can call in and say, hey, this mistake was made at this time. It'd be funny to play some of those back. I'm telling you.
It's the text machine. It's what I just did.
I know, but I think setting up a line and making it seem like it's more official, like you're calling into a PGA event to report a violation, could be funny.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Okay. Maybe it won't be funny. I don't know.
Right. All right. Chris Sims with us now. You can check him out, Bleacher Report. Reason we had him on, and he's been delightful. He signed a 70-day contract with us. He ranked Blake Bortles as his 70th best NFL quarterback. Cody Kessler was 71, and the rest of the list so far we've learned in day after day. Austin Davis, T.J. Yates, Cardale Jones, Brandon Weeden, C.J. Beathard, Sean Mannion is 64, and Jake Ruddock is 63.
Yep.
And I'm going to really enjoy when Blake Bortles holds up the Super Bowl trophy and the day after Chris Sims comes on with us and is still at like number 30 in his quarterback rankings.
Oh, I think he's entrenched at 70 no matter what happens.
No, but I'm
here.
saying, I know, but what I'm saying is we're going to be on number 30 by the Super Bowl. We're going to go 2 months after that.
Right.
Blake Bortles is going to be at the parade celebrating everything, and Chris Sims still has not gotten to the end of his list. Like, are you fearing that right now, Sims?
I am hearing it. I'm also hearing, am I now one of your top returning guests just because I'm too new?
That's right.
I mean, are you Blake Bortling me?
I
are
mean,
you putting me below 70?
I think so. I tried. I pushed for you, man. I did.
Yeah,
I know you did, Stugatz. You're my guy, man.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I wasn't really looking to be your guy.
I was.
Fine. I like you too, Dan, whether you like it or not.
Regardless, here we go. We're getting to number 62 on the list. Are you ready, Stugatz? This is a big spot.
I am
62.
ready.
It's right before the immortal Jake Ruddock.
You're better than Jake Ruddock if he said your name here.
Number 62 in Chris Sims's top quarterback rankings. Go, baby.
Cooper Rush, backup quarterback, Dallas Cowboys.
Wow, nice.
Number 62.
That's the first time I've heard that name.
Well, the last 3 names, I've never heard of any of those people.
Well, that's what I'm here for, guys.
Well, how are you doing with the criticism so far? Because you know how social media is, and you seem to get it. How are you doing so far with all the people who are saying, well, where would you rank yourself, Mr. Sims?
I don't really, I don't care about social media, for one, so I don't even listen to that crap, really. I work at Bleacher Report. I work at NBC Sports. I study the game hard every day, and, I made this as kind of a comment. I truly believe it, and then you jumped on the bandwagon, and I'm having fun with it. I don't care.
Okay,
nice.
That's good. But if they say that you wouldn't even be number 70, since you're not on social media, you're not getting any of that. We're getting it. We're getting who the hell is Chris Sims?
Right.
Who the hell is Chris Sims to come after the sacred name of one Blake Bortles?
Yeah, well, I'm nobody, that's for sure. But I know I did play a few games. I did start a playoff game, so I had a few moments. And one thing I know is I could throw the ball better than Blake Bortles, so that's for sure. And that I'll end that argument from there right away.
All right.
I mean, my career wasn't worth the damn, and of course got sidetracked because of my spleen issues and all that. But it is what it is right now, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
That last,
you're a guy that we called.
Yes. Look, man, I am now a Chris Sims fan. I want it stated for the record.
Thank you.
But I like that he just threw in there that sentence of, and I had my spleen issues. Like what you could have said is, Dan, I almost died on the field doing this. How's that for a credential? Like I almost died on the field doing it.
It boosts your resume. It does.
It does. I mean, unfortunately, it's the number one thing on my resume for my career, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is what it is, and I deal with it and have fun with it.
All right. Well, thank you for you and your spleen. And the safety and the safety of your spleen.
And congratulations to Cooper.
I don't have a spleen. It's gone. It's all gone. There's nothing here to safety of anymore. So it's in the trash can somewhere.
Okay.
You think he had like a part of it, or?
And I thought it repaired. I thought I didn't realize
regenerates, or like
I was not familiar with the workings of the spleen. Were you, Chris? Before any of this happened?
I had no idea any of it.
What did you know about the spleen? What have you learned about the spleen?
Gosh, the spleen, of course you can live without it. That's the first thing I learned.
Right.
The second thing is it's key for your immune system. That's the biggest thing. It fights infections, diseases, even your common colds, whatever it may be. And that is something I've had to deal with ever since I've lost it. I mean, I get freaking cold sores on my lips now, and I got to get vaccinations every 3 years and just stay on top of that all the time.
Oh wow! So you are. I didn't know that. You're more susceptible. So the common cold,
yes,
you get that more often than the rest of us.
I do. I'm like totally OCD guy. Like wash his hands crazy. Try to eat healthy as I can be during the week. All because of the lack of spleen.
That stinks. Like I didn't know that the spleen was that important. Did you know the spleen was that important?
No, I really didn't. I mean, I honestly. I didn't know what the hell the spleen did until after the fact. And then, doctors were like, hey, this is serious. This is serious for your long-term health. you got to watch these kind of things. And, I've been doing a pretty good job ever since.
But you never thought for a second, it's awful what you're going through, but you never thought for a second that the spleen, once it was taken out of you, that it would just kind of grow back naturally, right?
Which is what...
No, I did not believe, but I was told that there's cases of that where it actually does regenerate.
All right.
Wow.
See, thank you. I don't feel like such an idiot right now compared to spleen expert Stu Gatz over here. Sims, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it, Chris. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
Be good. Have a good day. See ya.
Too.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Nice guy.
We're learning. We're learning things. We're learning things with Chris Sims. It's nice to see that side of him and put him on the poll because he deserves now.
Yes.
He has reached the status to be somewhere in others receiving votes on favorite people. He could be the Blake Bortles on our list.
I was always a major
guests.
Applewhite guy, but Chris Sims has totally won me over.
We have to come up with a list and put him at number 70.
Guillermo, go ahead and put it on the poll. Did you know the spleen was that important? And the second question, I want it to be about Chris Sims. I want him dropped into the favorite guest thing.
Don Le Batard.
Did you know that Jose Canseco's finger fell off during a poker game?
We did a good show today, man.
68% of the audience said no. That's all we got today.
Is that all?
Our job is done.
Stu Gatz.
That's a quality program we put together.
Good job, everyone.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stu Gatz on ESPN Radio.
Baseball super agent Scott Boras has equated New Marlins ownership to a pawn shop in a story by Jerry Krasnick, ESPN.com, because the Marlins are, again, sellers on any and all contracts. And he says you have a community down there that grew to know 4 or 5-star players. They have a tremendous outfield there. They have a new ballpark. They have an excitement they grew to know. They suffered a tremendous tragedy and loss with the death of Jose Fernandez. As a community, they bonded around that team. You would hope that Major League Baseball would screen new ownership so that we have someone come in and provide additions. Instead, they come in and they redirect. So you're not a jewelry store that's coveting your diamonds. You become a pawn shop that's trying to pay the rent of the building. I think major league markets are damaged by that. I think it's disappointing for players who grew up with one another. You always hear people talk about development and growing in an organization. That process was exhibited and functioning at a high level in Miami, and it was basically redirected due to debt service, paying off the purchase price for the ownership as opposed to giving that fan base something to look forward to. Now, everything that he is saying here is 100% spot on. I just don't want to hear it from him.
Bad messenger. I was going to say the same thing. He's Stanton's agent, by the way?
I mean, no, he's not Stanton's agent. He was Jose Fernandez's agent, and he's only interested in the money, and he's only interested in everybody spending so he can get his clients ridiculous contracts.
Great message, awful messenger. Don't care what Scott Boras has to say about this because he's never done anything wrong. He's always done things the right way, Scott Boras. Please.
Yeah, that's pretty rich from Scott Boras saying, complaining about fans getting attached to players.
No, but all of this is rich people behaving badly. What happened with this Stanton trade? Because Manfred, all the commissioner of the league gave you on this when the Marlins sold is we were real happy with the purchase price. Like, man, if you're going to make it that cold, if you're going to run business that coldly, you deserve to lose your customers, Manfred. I'm not even kidding you. Like, you should have more in New York, but you deserve to lose all of your South Florida customers if your chief goal is to just get the purchase price up to a place where Jeter can't afford it, so he's got to get rid of Stanton because the previous owners mismanaged things so poorly. Like, that's crazy to me that the math of that is allowed to happen at the highest levels.
It's nuts
of the sport, and the people are just telling you, Manfred made this happen, man.
Yep.
Manfred made this deal happen because he wanted to get the purchase price up there. Jeter didn't have the money. Jeter knows that he overspent by about $300 million on that team. He can't afford it, so what's contract of Stanton? About $300 million. So what just happened was Stanton being traded. Did you just do the math the way I did it?
Yep, 100%.
That $300 million that Jeter overspent on a team because baseball needed to get the purchase price up
Stanton's
is
contract.
the contract they just traded. That's baseball conspiring, man.
You shouldn't be that surprised. I understand you're upset by it. You shouldn't be that surprised by it. That's it. It's just big business, and that's what people do, especially in positions of power. That's what they do. Rob Manfred, you think he cares about the fans down here in Miami? Honestly, do you think he cares?
But he deserves.
He doesn't.
He deserves to lose them.
Okay.
He deserves to lose all of them.
He's going to lose some of them. He's not going to lose all of them. If they get good again, he'll get all of them and then some back, and he knows that. So why not get $1.1 billion for the Marlins? The Marlins. Think about that.
When getting approved by Major League Baseball as a new owner, you have to present to them your plan. And he told Major League Baseball his plan was to shed salary.
Yes.
And Major League Baseball, knowing what happened here in this market, was cool with it.
Yes.
I don't care, Mike.
Yes. Jeter didn't just buy the team and then announce this plan. Jeter, with baseball, made this plan. How do we get you to get the purchase price to $1.2 billion? How do we get it up there? You overspend by $350 million. Like, that part is gross, man.
Yeah, MLB deserves some blame. Knowing what's happened in this market, they're treating Miami as a small market.
Major League Baseball doesn't deserve some blame. Major League Baseball deserves to lose South Florida's dollars. They don't deserve blame. They deserve to lose all of their customers in South Florida.
The problem with that is then that reinforces that, look, they can't support a baseball team.
That's
narrative.
fine. Baseball has earned that. Baseball has earned that. Take your money. You sold your soul. You sold your soul, and you treat it. It's not a pawn shop what they treated South Florida as. It's a brothel. It's not a pawn shop. It's dirtier than that.
It's this whole vicious cycle of, well, the fans don't show up. The fans don't show up because you're constant betrayal.
Because you keep milking this, and now you milked your legend's integrity to get to that $1.2 billion. Derek Jeter's in the middle of a storm right now, unlike anything he's ever been in terms of unpopularity. You took all his dignity, his integrity, his reputation, you squeezed everything you could out of it to get to that $1.2 billion. And now you're going to get rich and richer, and he's going to get rich and richer while trafficking and selling of his name. And what ends up happening is they deserve to not have a single fan in that ballpark when their season opens. Not one. They deserve to not have one person sitting in that stadium the day that it opens on opening day.
And they thought by merely his name being Derek Jeter, they'd be able to get away with it. No.
Well, no, but I'm here to tell you, okay, that what Major League Baseball, I don't care what consequences this brings me with our company and the partnerships that we have with Major League Baseball. I am here to tell you that what baseball did here was the highest kind of dirty. And while I know that it is wrong to say publicly things like a team should be boycotted, what I know with your partners, like the danger of what it is that I'm saying here. And what I'm telling you is the way that baseball did all of this to South Florida, the way that baseball did South Florida dirty, conspiring on all this stuff to make it happen so that they could get that business price up to where it is, they deserve to not have a single person support that business in South Florida. It's what they deserve. Baseball. It's what baseball deserves here. Like, Manfred needs to know that South Florida is not good with what happens here just because his epicenter is New York and everyone's celebrating that the Yankees just got better.
That first game is against the Cubs, though, man.
No, I might go to that one.
I'm with you.
Rizzo's a hometown kid.
And the Yankees come to town not short
thereafter.
Oh, my God, so many bombs.
Can you imagine how cool it would be seeing Giancarlo Stanton in that
many
stadium?
Bombs.
It's 4 with the Cubs and then 2 with the Red Sox right after the 4 with the Cubs.
They don't deserve a fan in May. Good?
Yeah. Today, they don't deserve a fan.
Well, starting on April 5th, then it goes to the Phillies.
I mean, when the Yankees come to town. Though.
And if for whatever reason this Jeter plan works, I'm there. If they start winning. No?
Yeah.
No?